Let's see another interesting example, and here it is development of a truncated cone. So what this cone looks like, this is how the cone is, and as you can see, it has been truncated at the top as well as at the bottom. Alright, so there was a cone like this, and it has been truncated at the top as well as it has been truncated at the bottom. Alright, so only this much part of the cone is there with us now. And for this cone, now we have another view of the same thing. So that's the part which is available with me. And if we draw the horizontal and frontal projection of the truncated cone, that is how the projections will appear. Okay, so corresponding to the base curve. Okay, because this truncated cone is also part of a cone, isn't it? Because this truncated part is a part of the cone. So for that cone, this is the base curve, and you can see the base curve here on the horizontal view. Similarly, corresponding to the bottom truncated plane over here, if I project it onto the horizontal, that is how the projection will appear. And corresponding to the top truncation, this is how the projection is. So this is something which is given to us, and what we have to do, we have to do the development using the given horizontal and frontal view, so that on folding the developed surface we can create this object. Okay, how to proceed with this? First of all, yes, because it's a round surface, I would like to create certain parts of it, okay, because so that I can create a small chords for help in transferring the details. So for that I will be giving certain names. So these are the divisions that I have made, and then I give the names. For example, 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, these are the points onto the base curve, okay, and 1 dash h is the horizontal projection of that. If I transfer this 1 dash h over here, it will become 1 dash f, okay. Similarly, this point will become 7 dash f because it is in the frontal. Alright, so these are the points onto the base curve. Similarly, we have the corresponding points onto this circle here and as well as onto this circle. Let us give them some names. So this is 1 dash on the base, while 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 h here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, these are on the bottom truncated surface here. Alright, and I can transfer these also onto the bottom truncated, and we will do in a while. Okay, well, corresponding to this top truncated surface, I can give the names as A, B, C, D, E and so on. Alright, let us transfer these points onto the frontal. So if I transfer these onto the frontal, okay, so first I'm transferring the things which are corresponding to the base. Of course, we will not need these finally in our development of surface, but just for completeness, these points which are over here have been transferred. And you will notice, for example, this point is being written as 3 dash 11 dash, because over here this point is 3 dash h, here it is 11 dash h, okay. So 3 dash and 11 points on the frontal, they are being transferred here. Alright, similarly now for the bottom truncated one, if I transfer them one by one, okay, look at the name of any one of these. For example, here, so over here this point is 5, and the corresponding point over there will be 9. If I go further up, it will be 9. So 5 and 9, they are being transferred over here, 5 and 9, okay, 5 and 9, they are being transferred. Similarly, the other points are also being transferred, 3 and 11, for example here 3 and 11, okay, which are on the bottom truncated surface. Okay, I can also transfer from the top truncated surface, and I'm just showing you two of these. Well, what will be the method to do the development of the surface? The method will be like this. First of all, because this entire thing is part of a cone, I will first try to develop the total cone, and we know this is the slant height of the cone, and these are the corresponding points, or rather I can say, because I know how much is this, which is equal to this arc. So if this cone is to be developed, I should have created these triangles. Okay, so this small triangle is a conical triangle where along this direction there is no curvature, while along this direction transverse to this there is curvature. So with the help of these small triangles which are put onto a surface, I can create the full cone. However, our object is not the full cone, rather it is a truncated cone. So what we will do, we will, for example here, look at this, I can straight away cut away this part, okay, and this line is corresponding to this, because I know how much is this length, okay, we can determine this length is known to me, so this length is the same length as here. So corresponding to this, I am taking an arc, and this entire portion can be removed. Similarly, where is this point? All these points which are on the bottom truncated surface, I will try to locate them, say along these lines, and so on. So in order to locate any of these, for example this one, I want to locate it, I will need to know the true length corresponding to this. So we will determine the true length corresponding to this, and over here I will be marking it the true length over here. So what I will be left with, say only this much, so rest of it is to be removed. All this is to be removed. So if so we will be left with only this much part, which is the developed surface. Let us do it. I was just trying to give you the concept of it. Okay, so first of all here also, because we have to do the entire cone, so to do the entire cone, we know this length. What is this length? This length is O and 7, and O7, you will notice that this is parallel to the frontal, so this is the true length. So I know the O7, so I will be taking that arc, a complete arc from O7, okay, something like this, and within that I will be cutting these chords. Okay, so this is what I can do. So if you do it for the complete cone, this is how the base curve is being located, and finally the point here. Okay, now for the top one, so that's the base curve. Now for the top one, as we said, that we also know this length, because this is also a true length. So from here we can take an arc, alright, and this part has to be removed. So now an arc has been taken. This is representing the top surface or top truncated surface, alright. Okay, now next we have to start locating these points. For example, say point number 7. Say this is point number 7 here. 7H is the point here. Where is point number 7? Here. So O and 7, this line is parallel to the frontal plane. So corresponding to O7, that means O and 7 here, this point. So this line is the true length of O7. So this must line I will be marking from O to 7 here in order to locate the point 7. Okay, let us give the names to the top one also, and then we are marking the point 7. Alright, so that's the point 7. Similarly for the point 6. So where is the point 6? Point 6 is this. However, O6, this line is inclined, is not parallel to the frontal. So corresponding to this, its frontal projection will be foreshortened. Okay, so from O, if I join the point 6, and if I join this 6 and O, this length is not the true length. Okay, I need the true length here. So the method that we know, I will be rotating this point 6 and then I will be generating the true length. Let us do that. So if I rotate this 6 has been rotated. So projection of 6O has been now made parallel to the frontal. And now from here the point has been transferred to the frontal, and now 6 will be shifting here. Okay, the 6 will be shifting in this direction, and let me show you where it will be. So this is where the 6 will be. So O6, that is now the length. Okay, that's the true length, and this length we will be marking on O6 dash here. Okay, so this point is 6. Let us give the name 6. Now for point 5, again O5, from here to here, this line will also need to be rotated. So we will rotate it. Okay, the line has been rotated. Bring the point onto the frontal. Okay, so that's the line which is bringing it to the frontal projector, and now this 5 is here. So the 5 and this line, their intersection will give a point which gives me the true length. Okay, so we will measure the length from here and then put it there. So we will get the point 5. Similarly for the point 4, I will rotate this point 4. Let us do that. So point 4, this point here, because that's, we are right now working with the bottom truncated face. So the bottom truncated face is this point 4. So 4 has been rotated. Bring it to the frontal. Alright, so we brought it to the frontal here. Now this 4 will be shifted. Okay, and because earlier this was line O4. Okay, now because 4 has shifted here, this will become line O4, which will be the true length. So we'll locate the point, measure the distance and transfer it here. So this is point number 4. Okay, point number 4. Similarly, now I can do it for the points on the other side. Say 3, 2, 1. So if I do it for point number 3, 2, 1, process is same. Okay, process is same. And whatever I have done over here, the other side is again similar to that. So I can carry on this same exercise and locate the other points. Alright, so what we have done on our development here, I have located the point corresponding to the bottom truncated face, and then we can join them. So if you join them, and as well as of course we'll have to join there on the sides. So this is what gives me the developed surface corresponding to the truncated cone, and these are the sim lines, or the lines about which the surface will be folded. Okay, so given a flat surface like this, if it can be folded about these, okay, it will result into this. That is what the development is, or the developed surface is for the truncated cone. Okay, now let us go further from here, and now we will see development of a transition piece. And in this case, the transition piece is square to round. So there is a pipe, as I said earlier, okay, which is bringing some say gas, and now further pipe is now circular. So we need in between a transition piece, and the transition piece looks like this. So corresponding to this transition piece, we have generated the horizontal projection and the frontal projection. And in this case, we have decided that our transition piece will be made by using, say, this particular face. If you look at this, it's a plane, okay, so, which is over here. It's a plane, while this and this, they are the conical surfaces. This and this, these are the conical surfaces. So by 4 planes, triangular planes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 conical triangles, if you put them all together, we will be able to generate this. One more thing, in this case, don't confuse, because right now in our projection I have not shown this top part. Okay, this is not shown, neither this part, it is not shown, and it is simple. Okay, so I have only corresponding to middle one, which is actually the transition piece. Alright, so if we have decided to make it this way, I can create the corresponding horizontal projection and also the frontal projection. Now to develop this, you can visualize what the development will be. Development will be a plane triangle connected to a conical piece, connected to another conical piece. All these we are putting onto a horizontal plane. But to do that, I need the true length of this, true length of this, true length of this, and so on. But right now, from the projection which is available to me, I do not know the true length. So I would like to first determine the true length of this, because right now the true length of this is neither there in the horizontal projection nor in the frontal projection. Similarly, I would like to know the true length of this. Again, it is not there in the horizontal or the frontal projection. But we know the method. We know the method. So using that method, we will be generating the true length. So, okay, just we give some names so that we'll be referring to these, and then we will go for the true length. So for the true length, let us start with, say, the line 9,1. Okay, if I want to know the 9,1 as the true length, I'll have to rotate it so that this 9,1 projection becomes parallel to the frontal plane. So if I do it, that's the rotation, and now it has become parallel. So this length is equal to the total length shown over here. So that's the corresponding point now, 1. Corresponding to this, we will locate the point here now on frontal. So 9,1 here now is the true length. So corresponding to 9,1 means same as 110, 10,3, 11,3, and so on. So for all these I know the true length. Similarly, for the other line 8,9, or we can say 2,10, what is the true length of this? I will be rotating this again to know the true length. So let us do that rotation. So if I rotate 210, alright, and then the point over here, I bring it to the frontal. So that's the point. So point 2 shifts here, this point 2 shifts here, and this gives me the true length. So these are the true lengths, and I need only these two true lengths, because with these true lengths, all the faces can be defined. Okay. Well, once we know it, then we'll start development. So what we will do, we'll start with say 9, 10, by starting with 9, 10, and this length 9, 10 is the true length here. Okay, this length is the true length because the 9, 10 here, because you can see this is the point view of line 9, 10, is parallel to the horizontal plane. So 9, 10 is the true length, I know it, so we plot the 9, 10 here. From 9 and from 10, now we will be taking arcs equal to this length and this length, which in fact is the true length here. So equal to the true length 9, 1, I will be taking the arcs from 9 and 10 to locate the point say 1. Okay, let us do that. So if I take the arcs, so point number 1 is located. So it is this triangle. So if this point is say 9, this is 10, so the point number 1. So this triangle 1, 9, 10 is like this. Now from this 1, 9, 10, you can see I have got a connected triangle which is 1, 8, 9. Now in this 1, 8, 9, I know 1, 8. Again, why I know 1, 8? Because this circle I know as the true shape, and within that I have made these chords, so I know the true length of these chords. Okay, because this circle also, for example here the circle is here. Okay, this is the edge view of the circle. Because this edge view is parallel to the horizontal plane, so the length of the circle is true length, or the circle is coming as true view. So 1, 8 is known to me, I can measure it from here. Similarly for 8, 9, I know its corresponding true length, which is here. So from point number 1 I will take an arc equal to 1, 8. From 9 I will take an arc equal to 9, 8, or this length. So that way I will be able to locate point 8. So if I do it, I can locate the point 8. Similarly on the other side, I can locate the point 2. Okay, we locate the point 2. Once the point 2 has been located, I can now again plot point number 3. So I know this, the true length of both. So from 2 and 10, I am taking these two arcs to locate point number 3. So from 2 and 10, taking the arcs, and point number 3 is located, and so on. If you keep doing it, the other points will be also located. And now we have the developed surface, okay, corresponding to the transition piece here. Let us see one more case, and this is little more involved because the transition piece is little more complex in shape than what we saw in the last slide. So here the transition piece is from an oval to the round shape. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is how the transition piece looks like. Okay, at the bottom there is an oval, and at the top we have a round shape, and this is the top view of it, and that's the front view of it. Okay, another view if I see it from the bottom, so you can see the oval there. So these are the two straight lines, then part of the circle, so semicircle here, and then at the top here it is complete circle. Okay, and this is the transition piece, and we have to develop this transition piece now. So for this transition piece, if we create its top view and the frontal view, that is how the views are. Well, the question is now how to develop it, because these are the top view and the frontal view, and the basic of the development is we have to represent this entire thing by means of smaller triangles. Those triangles can be planar triangles or can be conical triangles. Okay, or we have to represent them by, I can say again, a simple plane or the conical surfaces. Okay, so if this is the case, in order to develop it, what I would like to do, let us say if I change the color for more clarity, I take a point here and another point here, join it. So what it is? This is from a curve to a point, a conical triangle. Alright, I can take one more point here and then join it. Okay, here also we have a conical triangle. So because this part is curvature, okay, it has a curve, a single point, another triangle. Similarly, I can have one more, and so on. Similarly, on the other side also. So what we have done here, the connection between the top round and the bottom oval, we are representing them by means of these smaller triangles. Again, as I said earlier, the triangle can be as small as possible. It will lead to more accuracy, but that means large number of triangles, large number of those smaller pieces, large number of folding. So we need to have a trade-off between accuracy and the time, cost, and all that. So similarly, on the other side also we'll be doing it. All right, now once we decide on this, okay, how many triangles we are trying to create, I can generate their corresponding frontal projection also, because where are these points? All these points which are on the top are actually lying here. Where are these points? These are the points on the bottom. That means these are the points which are lying here. So a particular triangle may look like this. So this can be one of those triangles. Okay, similarly there can be many other triangles. So what we will do now, very first, we will create these triangles and their projection on the horizontal as well as on the frontal. So for this, let us look at this. So, and we have created those triangles. So here in this drawing, first of all, let's discuss some names that we have given. So this circle represents the top round, okay, the top round, and on that top we have given the names as 1, 2, 3, 4, and again the number of the divisions here. For example, here we have done the 16 division. It is your choice how many you want to do. We should have optimal, so that the accuracy in the shape is there, as well as time efforts are also minimal. So as per those divisions that we have made, now I am giving the names 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 13, 16, and so on. So these are the points on the top round. Alright, corresponding to these, we have also given the points onto the bottom oval. Now this is the bottom one. Okay, you see the edge view of the bottom surface with the oval shaped, and here also corresponding to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in this case we are seeing 5 here also, 5 here also, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 here, then 13 here, 14, 15, 16, and so on. Okay, so that is how we have given the names to the points, and then between them, as we discussed, we have created these triangular faces. So here is a triangular face. If I color it completely, one of those. Okay, so this triangular face here is 1, 2 dash 2. So please understand, when I am putting dash here, 2 dash, that means the point is on the bottom oval. Okay, simple 2 point is on the top circle. So we have a triangle 1, 2, 2 dash. Similarly, we have a triangle here 1, 1 dash, 2 dash. So you can think of again another triangle here which has been shaded, which is 1, 1 dash, 2 dash, and 1. Okay, so 1 dash is on bottom oval, 2 dash is on bottom oval, 1 is on top. So one triangle here, another triangle here, and so on. Alright, and then corresponding frontal projections of these. For example, a triangle 3, 4 dash 4. Okay, there is a triangle 3 4 dash 4 which I am shading here is this. So which is, where is this? So this is 3 4 and 4 dash. So this, there is a triangle between these points. Okay, on the front horizontal it is difficult to see that because the lines are thicker and they are coming over each other, but on the frontal now you can visualize this. Okay, let's make use of this information for the development. So if you go for the development, obviously in this case also what we will do, we will start with, say, this triangle. I will plot this triangle as a true shape. So I need to know this length as true, this length as true, this length as true, so that I can plot this triangle here. So this triangle is, say, 5 and 5, say 5 dash and 5 dash. So first of all I plot this. Then next, from 5, if I am plotting this triangle now, I will take an arc is equal to 5 6. I will tell you what is this 5 6. This 5 6 is actually here, this arc. So I will take an arc equal to 5 6 equal to this. Alright, and from 5 dash I will take another arc, okay, which is equal to from 5 dash to 6. So 5 dash 6, this length. I should know the true length for this. Then from 5 dash I can take an arc to get this point. So here this length is 5 dash 6, this length, and where they cut I get the point, and then I can show the triangle. So this triangle will be 5 6 and 5 dash. Similarly, once I have got the point 6 and 5 dash, from here I will plot a distance which is 6 6 dash, 6 6 dash, or I will take the arc of the 6 6 dash, and from 5 dash I will take the arc of 5 dash 6 dash. So I will get the another point, and I will get the point here, okay, which will be the point 6 dash, and so on. So this is what we are going to do in order to develop this surface. So let's start. Okay, so first of all, as I said, I am interested in this true length. Similarly, I am interested in all these triangles, because you know these triangles are made of the sides as 1 1 dash, 1 2 dash, then there is another side 2 dash 2 2 3 dash. These are the sides. So for each of these I need the true length. So to know the true length, let us start with 1, because there are some sides which I can say 1 1 dash, similarly 2 2 dash, similarly 3 3 dash, 16 16 dash, 15 15 dash. Okay, so they are sides like 1 1 dash, 2 2 dash, 3 3 dash, 4 4 dash, 16 16 dash, 15 15 dash. So these are the sides. So I need to know their true length, number 1. Similarly, there are other sides, and these sides, if I mark it here, in order to create a triangle here, I also need 1 2 dash. Okay, so I need 1 2 dash. Similarly, I need 2 3 dash, 2 3 dash. Okay, I will also need 3 4 dash, 4 5 dash, and so on. Alright, then over here to create a triangle I need 16 15 dash, 16 15 dash, similarly 15 14 dash, 14 14 13 dash. So these are the sides which are here. I need their true lengths. Okay, I need their true lengths. Then only I will be able to form the triangle. Alright, in a certain triangle, this particular length, because I will need this length also, and this length I know because from the top projection or the horizontal projection I know this length is the true length. Similarly, in a triangle I will need this length, and here also this length is true length. I know it. I can measure this chord here. So that way, if I know 1 1 dash, 1 2 dash, and the lengths here, I will know all three sides of the triangle. I can show that triangle and develop the surface. Okay, let us do it now. So those lines like 1 1 dash, so 1 1 dash means 1 1 dash. So because 1 1 dash here, it is parallel to the frontal plane, so 1 1 dash here will be the true length, and I can straight away show it here. So this is the true length. Now for 2 2 dash, so 2 2 dash here, okay, 2 2 dash, we see this is not parallel to the frontal. That means I will have to rotate it, and by rotating it I will have to see the corresponding projection. So corresponding to 2, here is the point, okay, 2 dash, here is the point. Once I rotate it, I will have the corresponding point. I can join it to that. That will become the true length. So this true length now I am plotting over here. Okay. So let's do that. So if I plot that, so this is the point 2 dash, and that's the length. So I'm showing the length here. So that's the true length, which is 2 2 dash. This length is 2 2 dash, and also 16 16 dash, because similarly on the other side. Alright, we can do this also for 3 3 dash. So this length here is 3 3 dash. Similarly, it is also 15 15 dash. Alright, we can do it for others also, say 4 4 dash and 5 5 dash. So these are the lengths. Now we have done the lengths on the left side here. Let us do it on the right side in the similar manner. So starting from your 9, this length 9 9 9 9 dash. We know 9 9 dash here is the true length, because 9 9 dash is parallel to the frontal. So that's the true length. Then 8 8 dash, this line is correspond. We will rotate it and find the true length of it, and then I'm showing the true length over here. So this point and this point is now length 8 8 dash. Okay. Similarly, we can do it for 7 7 dash, 6 6 dash, and so on. Alright, we also need, as we just saw in the previous case, I also need the length as 1 2 dash. Isn't it 1 2 dash? And this 1 2 dash is also not parallel to the frontal, so I'll have to rotate it, determine its true length, and then show it. So if I do for this, so that's the point 1, that's the point 2 dash. So this line is equal to 1 2 dash. Alright. Similarly, the same line is 1 16 dash here also. So that's why 1 16 dash. This is the true length. Similarly, I can do it for 3. Okay, I can do it for 3. 3 means it is now 2 3 dash. So the line 2 3 dash, I'm finding its true length and then showing it here. So this length now is 2 3 dash. Okay. Similarly, now one more, which will be 3 4 dash. So that's the point 4 dash. Okay. So if I show you the length, that's the length. So now this length is 3 4 dash. And when I say 3 4 dash, that is also equal to 15 14 dash. Okay. So this is 15 14 dash. Alright, so that way we have now all the true lengths which we need determined here. So if I go back, yes, so these are the true lengths which have been determined. So what we will do now, as in the previous case, we'll make use of these true lengths and develop the surface. The true lengths have been determined here. Okay, let's go further. So I have brought the true lengths here. So these lengths are for 1 dash kind of lengths. Here it is 2 dash kind of lengths. Okay, and as we had done in the previous one. Alright, so what we will do, we will start with our first triangle here, which is 5 dash and 5 dash here. So first triangle, I know this length, because all these lengths are known to us. 5 dash is known to me, okay, from here. And similarly, this length is also known to me. I can measure this length either on the frontal or on the horizontal projection, okay, because I know this as true length. So 5 dash, another arc. So from here, this length is known to me. From here, same length, I'm taking the arc, and then this length I'm taking another arc here. So if I take it, that is how I get the point. So my this triangle is now plotted onto 2D in a true shape. Now once it is done, let us now try to locate the point 6. Okay, so for this, what is this 6? As we had seen earlier, from 5 I'll have to take an arc equal to 5/6 length. So the 5/6 length I will get from the horizontal view. Okay, 5/6 for the circle, that chord. Similarly, from 5 dash I need the length which is 5-6, and I know this length already. The true length of this is known to me. So once we get it, I will be able to locate the point here. Okay, let us do that. So if I locate the point, that is how the 6th point is located. Once 6th point is located, that means my very first triangle, which is corresponding to the triangle here, has been made. Alright, next to this I have from 5 to 6 dash. So this point is 5 dash, this is 6 dash, and in order to locate now 6 dash, I need the length 5 dash, 6 dash, and this length we will get from the horizontal projection. On the horizontal projection, where is 5 dash and 6 dash? The length between these two. Okay, I know this length. Okay, I know it. So I know this length. Then another length that I need is from 6 to 6 dash, and this length 6 to 6 dash I will get it from here. Okay, because 6 to 6 dash length is this. Once it is done, I can take the arc from here equal to 5 dash 6 dash. Again from 6 I take the arc, get the point, and then I will be able to locate the point 6 dash. Okay, let's do it. So if I locate the point 6 dash, similarly I can locate the rest of the points. Triangle by triangle we are locating the points, because we know all these lengths. So this is on one side, then similarly on the other side, and over here 13 dash 13 dash is here, which is similar to this triangle 5 dash 5 dash. Okay, so this is what has been done there, and I'm locating the point on both sides. Okay, so once all these points have been located, I will join them. Well, this is how the developed surface corresponding to this transition piece from oval to round will look like. Okay, so there are more number of lines in this case. Once you do this problem yourself, the things will become more clear to you. But I'm sure you have now clear fundamentals how we are doing it. All right, thank you very much. And this is our last lecture for this engineering graphics course. And if you recall, we started with basic definitions, the projections, orthographic projections, and the pictorial projections, and then we went to so those were the basic things, basic definitions, how to create those projections, other things, how to represent the things, how to follow the conventions. Then we looked into some concepts of the space geometry, relations, interrelations. Then we made use of those for intersection, for example. Okay, and then finally we utilized that concept, whatever we had learned, on developing the as complex as, in the last case, the oval to round transition piece. So with the help of whatever we have learned, I'm sure you can make use of this. Thank you very much.